Hey, what up everybody, this is Stevie Breach coming to you. Wanted to steal a little bit of your time talking about the big Monday night football game. The San Francisco 49ers took over the NFL this week. It seems like almost all of their games have been played in some sort of prime time or big spotlight game. Lots of Thursday night games, lots of Sunday night games, lots of these Monday night games. And the San Francisco 49ers will play the Washington Redskins for the first time since 2011. Speaking of the 49ers season this year, right now they're really not sitting on top of the NFL. They're not really taking that spot that a lot of people gave them as one of the odds-on favorites to be winning the Super Bowl this year. You know, adding on to their quest of going to the NFC Championship game, going to the Super Bowl, and then finally taking it over, winning it in this 3-year odyssey that we've been rolling down the river on. We've lost some games. We've lost some good games. We've lost some bad games. We've been blown out. It's one of those right now. We're bouncing off of a loss last week down in the Super Bowl. Not in the Super Bowl, in the Superdome, to a tough game to the New Orleans Saints, where we were heavily exposed, where we couldn't run the ball and we couldn't pass the ball. It's still questionable. It might be a game-time decision if our star wide receiver, Michael Crabtree, will be making a return, adding to the threats that Kaepernick will have to go along with all of his passing touchdowns being related to two receivers, Vernon Davis and Anquan Boldin this year. About the only thing that's not making the 49ers look as embarrassing as they are right now is the Washington Redskins. The Washington Redskins, another team coming off of a quarterback who made an explosion under the league last year in RG3. He did have a knee injury, which slowed his progression, and from week one has not looked extremely comfortable. He's had rare glimpses of breaking out. He's had good passing games, hooking up with Garcon. He's had the wheels to run for some yards, but he still hasn't found himself with the rushing touchdown on the year. There's a lot of talk about coaching problems in Washington. The team is honestly in a lot of disarray. Mike Shanahan, since he's taken this job in Washington, hasn't really taken me by surprise. I think he had one good year last year, led by some good players. But honestly, especially this year, isn't living up to the hype. And there's a short leash on coaches in Washington with the the red carpet list of all-stars that the owner has liked to bring in and push around. Nobody wants to win a championship as much as Dan Snyder does, and you can tell that he puts this much money into it and he wants to get something back for it. I honestly would be surprised if the Mike Shanahan years roll on after this year. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this might be the last year Shanahan's there. If he either just gives up and doesn't want to put up with these players, or if he has shown the door on his way out of there. But the Niners honestly need a win. The Redskins have an excellent run game, but I think the Niners defense can stand up and stop it. We just need that real breakout game from Kaepernick. I think everything honestly really relies on his shoulders. A lot of people have made a lot of excuses for him, but he was able to pass the ball last year. He should be able to pass the ball this year. The excuses of Crabtree not being able to line up due to his injury, I don't think honestly mean jack anymore. Anquan Boldin was brought in over the offseason. I think that Boldin is everything that of a receiver that Crabtree is. I think that if you add the double threat there, it makes him better. But honestly, I think something's there. If either, a lot of teams have sat down and looked over the game film and noticed how to contain this guy and see that, he drops back into the pocket and he looks at his number one option, and then he tries to run. And if you put a guy in his way, he's not going to be able to move there. We've seen him not be able to run well against both NFC South teams in the Carolina game and in the New Orleans game. So honestly, as a 49er fan, I have big time not regrets, but I just it's a game that I do have the little caution cone on. This is not an easy win at all. This is one we're gonna have to fight for, and we're gonna have to get on top, and we're gonna have to stay there. Frank Gore, I have no doubt in my mind, is going to be able to plink out some yards. But rushing this year has not been our problem. It's been passing, and I think that's our key to victory. If we can win out the rest of the season and we can finish 12-4, I see that as a team that is going to be making the wild card into the playoffs, and then we're going to have to work our butts off and have to go through teams that we've lost to. Carolina might be there again. You're definitely going to see New Orleans. You're definitely going to see Seattle. There's no way in the world you can see those teams, sort of eliminate their ways out. We got lucky last year not having to play Seattle again. That was the one team that I just didn't want to play. I thought there was no chance in the world we were going to look at with that. And then, they were able to drop the game and we were able to squeak through. But I hope we're in for a good day of football today. See a lot of talk on the Fox NFL Sunday. And we'll roll through all this, and then we'll have the big spotlights on us in Washington for the big Niners game. So here we go, Niners in Washington. Who you got on Monday? Peace out.